All right, let's talk Senior Bowl and why it's so important for the Bears. Why does it matter so much? The mission is simple: fix the defensive front. Our draft window is pick 25 in round 1, and this Senior Bowl gives the Bears a chance to identify a year 1 starter who can immediately elevate the defense and pair with Montez Sweat. The problem, in 2025, the Bears ranked bottom 5 in total sacks and allowed 5 yards per carry. That's not a scheme issue, that's a personnel problem. DA worked his ass off. The front couldn't consistently collapse the pocket or control the interior, and offenses took note. Our strategy? The strategy is to use the Senior Bowl, January 27th through the 29th, to find a player who could step in immediately and change the math up front. Tuesday's practice, especially the one-on-one drills, this is when people go extremely viral for getting burnt or knocking dudes out, is where this evaluation really begins. And then, of course, everything culminates the 77th annual Senior Bowl on Saturday, January 31st. So let's get into it. Our top target at the Senior Bowl is Caleb Banks. He's a defensive tackle, the mountain in the middle. If the Bears want stability, Caleb Banks is a name to know. He's 6'6", 335 pounds out of Florida, and he's the most frequently mocked player to Chicago at pick 25, outside of one guy out of Ohio State. Now, context matters. Banks missed 9 games this season due to foot injury, but he returned for the final 2 games specifically to prove he's healthy, and all eyes in Mobile will be on that foot. What makes him so appealing is simple: the Bears don't have an interior anchor, and Banks can be that guy from day one. On Tuesday, scouts will be watching 2 things closely. First, how fluid he looks in hoop drills, and second, whether he can reset the line of scrimmage against elite Senior Bowl centers. If he passes both tests, he checks every box, and if he falls to 25, this is a no-brainer. Next, we have the elite pass rusher, David Bailey. He's an edge, the Big 12 sack king. If David Bailey is available at 25, the conversation ends quickly. Bailey out of Texas Tech stands 6'3", 247 pounds, and led the entire FBS with 14.5 sacks and 19.5 tackles for loss. His calling card is first step explosion. It's the best in this draft class that I have seen, and we will double check that this week. Offensive tackles are already playing catch up at the snap, and that is at the college level. The NFL is different, but Tuesday will answer the real questions. Can Bailey hold his ground against a run, or is he strictly a speed rusher? And can he drop into coverage, something Dennis Allen's system occasionally demands? If those answers are positive, he's an automatic fit. But again, we have to hope that he falls that far back to 25. The versatile piece, Akeem Messeter, edge, the Canadian chess piece. If the Bears want flexibility, Akeem might be their best option. He's 6'3", 280 pounds from Miami, and finished the year with 9 sacks and a 92.5 PFF grade, 4th best among all FBS edge rushers. What separates Messidor is his ability to move inside on 3rd downs. At 280 pounds, he could slide to 3-tech, creating matchup problems and opening lanes for others. On Tuesday, scouts will focus on alignment. Will the Senior Bowl staff use him at defensive end or inside at tackle? The Bears likely view him as a heavy end. They'll also watch whether he uses his natural power to collapse the pocket with a bull rush. This guy's very exciting, but again, he's a guy that might get snatched up pretty early. The power option, TJ Parker, edge rusher, the Clemson catalyst. And then there's TJ Parker. Realistically, the most reasonable guy that we might get in this draft is TJ Parker, because the rest of these guys might go in the first 20 picks. Parker is 6'3", 260 pounds from Clemson, and while the raw numbers, 5 sacks, don't jump out at you, the tape does. He closed the season with a 3-sack performance against South Carolina. This is a hits principle player. High motor, physical, relentless. He's a cleaner fit as a traditional 4-3 defense than Bailey. Tuesday's focus here is on hand usage and consistency. Have his counter moves improved? And can he bring the same intensity every snap? Now, that's something that we got from Ozzy Trapillo right away, something that we saw in Luther Burden right away. When you translate from college to the NFL, there's a big difference. Guys are getting paid to ruin your life. In college, you become an accountant. In the NFL, you go all out. So that's the difference. My final thoughts here are the Bears don't need any flash. They need impact immediately. We all know we want another championship. The Senior Bowl is where Chicago can identify a player who walks in on day one and makes life easier for everyone else on that defense, whether it's power inside, speed off the edge, or versatility across the front. The answer is in Mobile, Alabama. And for the Bears this week, could define the entire draft. Coming out of this weekend, we could have a lot of answers. The only question up in the air is there's one guy out of Ohio State that won't be here that could be our 25th overall pick, but I'll leave that for another post. In the meantime, I will keep you up to date on everything Bears. Bear down.